Hello YouTubers and welcome to my cooking channel. Today we are making a classic yet gourmet recipe. Seared beef fillet with easy Bearnaise sauce. A big succulent beef fillet cooked to perfection and served with a high-end French sauce and sauté vegetables. Get ready to impress everyone. So let's begin. This episode is something unique because I will show you the best way to make at home a proper cooked beef fillet with a proper Bearnaise sauce the easiest way. Is it possible? Of course it is. I will show you all the tricks and the tips to make it easy at home. So first of all, because it's a 10-minute recipe, the whole thing, we need our beef fillet. So, as you know, beef fillet is the most lean part of the beef. There is not big amount of fat. It's very tender, it's very nice, and the only thing we have to make sure is not to overcook it. So I have a non-stick pan here, and probably the way you know that we're cooking beef in a pan is easy. You sear the beef, and then you add the butter, and you brushing the beef with the butter, and you cook it through, and you let it rest. But this is something that it's not very easy for everybody. So I will show you another way today to make it more easy and 100% successful. I have my oven preheated to 185 degrees Celsius at the fan, and I will sear my beef and I will cook it off inside the oven. This way that I will show you today, you will have 100% success to your beef. Now, I have two lovely beef fillets here, 300 grams each. They are huge, and I will add a little bit of extra virgin Greek olive oil. We need some oil because the beef fillet is quite lean, that's why we call it fillet. So we need to add some fat to have a nice caramelization to our beef. Now, my beef is ready. The only thing that I will add now is some salt. We need some salt. You can add some pepper too, but always the pepper is something that you can add to the very end. We don't want to overcook it and burn into the pan. So I have my salt, my oil, my pan. My pan is extremely hot, and I will add my fillet. We want to hear that sound. That sound will make sure that the fillet will cook to perfection. Now, if you have time, you can take off the meat from the fridge about half an hour to make sure that it will have room temperature before you cook it. But if you don't have this opportunity, then you will carry on the same way that I'm doing now, because I know that everybody wants to make the best thing but with the less effort. So, my beef is here, and as you can see, I'm giving a nice color. I will sear it, and as you can see now, my pan is completely dry because all the oil be sucked up by the fillet. What I'm going to do, I will add a little bit more olive oil because I want to see some olive oil to the pan. This will give more caramelization. All the sound means caramelization. And because I want to make sure that my beef will be completely caramelized, okay? Now, what do you think? It's ready? I will flip it. And as I'm flipping the meat, I will make sure also that my meat touches the edges of the pan. In this point, I'm actually giving color to the sides of my fillet with this procedure, okay? And as you can see, I'm keeping always the side fillet attached to my fillet because it's a waste to take it off. The most of the time, we're paying for this part of the meat. It's quite tender. It's not so tender as the fillet, but this small piece costs a lot, so do not waste it. Just keep it here. Now, it's time to add a little bit of pepper, as I told you before. And it's time also for Mr. Butter to make all this lovely work. Now, I will take some butter. I will add to my pan a clove of garlic and some herbs. Thyme is always a good idea. Take a good batch of thyme. And normally take a spoon and brushing the meat with the butter to cook it through. But it's a waste of time. You have to be here for about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And if you are not an expert, maybe you will not succeed to have the best result. Now, what I'm telling to you all is to make something simple. Just make sure that the butter will soak up from the beef Put it here and straight the pan inside the oven. 185 degrees Celsius set to fan, and if you have 200 grams of fillet, you will need about 4 to 5 minutes inside the oven. If you have more, like 300, like mine, 300 grams each, then probably you will need about 5 minutes inside the oven. We will let it rest after. So, during this time, I will prepare what, my friend Lakis? My Hollandaise sauce. Yeah, so, I need a pan, I will put on heat, and I will add my butter. If you don't know, Béarnaise sauce is Hollandaise sauce with some tarragon, okay? So, normally, if we want to make an Hollandaise sauce or Béarnaise sauce, we need to cook the yolks on a bain-marie, then adding gradually the butter, and probably, if you are not an expert, the first time the whole thing will split. This way that I will show you today is the best way to make a Béarnaise sauce at home, completely safe and 100% successful. Okay, so instead of cooking the egg yolks and pasteurize them into bain-marie and then adding gradually the melted butter, we will do the opposite. We will have cold the egg yolks and we will add them into a mixer. The vinegar and the mustard. So, instead of cooking the eggs and adding the cold butter into it to make Béarnaise sauce, we will mix the egg yolks cold and we will add the hot butter in and actually we will make the Béarnaise sauce. You got it? We will go opposite wise and actually it will be 100% successful. The only thing you have to concern is what, my friend Lakis, is the temperature of the butter. It has to be what? Extremely hot. Because if it's not hot, it will not pasteurize the egg yolks and the Béarnaise sauce will not be thick enough and with the right consistency. Now, what do you think, my butter is hot enough? Of course it is, it's bubbling. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna start working my mixer here and gradually I will add my hot butter in. So, look carefully what I'm going to do. Voila. And voila. Look at this. Perfection. And as you can see, I added gradually and slowly my butter in, because if we do it at once, then probably we'll have a nice omelette. We want to gradually cook the eggs, cook them through, pasteurize them, make the best Béarnaise sauce without any effort. Look at the consistency. Okay? So now, this is an Hollandaise sauce because we have only vinegar and nothing else. Some people using lemon juice too, I'm just using vinegar. So in this point, this is an Hollandaise sauce. Now, if we add some tarragon in, what we will have? A Béarnaise sauce. Normally in restaurants we are making a reduction with vinegar and tarragon and blah 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 blah. You don't need to know that. The only thing you need to know that this Hollandaise will be one of the best Hollandaise sauce you ever tried. So I will add my tarragon in, I will mix again for just 10 seconds. And this is it. Now you became an expert of making homemade Béarnaise sauce in less than 2 minutes. Yeah, now my Béarnaise sauce is here. I will take a nice spatula, take all this lovely sauce. Look at this, huh? Even if you go to a good restaurant, you will not have this quality of Béarnaise sauce. I'm just kidding. If it's a good restaurant, you will have this quality. But probably the chef inside will spend 20 to 30 minutes until he makes this lovely Béarnaise sauce. Stunning. If it's very thick, you can thin up the sauce with a little bit of water, okay? Add 1 tablespoon of water and it will thin out. Now, how long has been my beef inside the oven? 7 minutes. It's time to take it off the oven. And what Akis will do now, my friend Akis, he will turn it from the other side. He will take the tongue and he will keep like this my beef for another 5 minutes, submerged into the butter. Make sure that it will keep it moist sexy and tender. Now, after 3-4 minutes, we will serve the meat. This is a huge rule that you have to follow. Always you have to rest the meat because the meat needs some time. If you cut it through straight away from the oven or from the pan, then probably you will have waste of juices. And this is something we don't want. Now, after 3-4 minutes, we will serve it with some nice veggies and of course, the Bearnaise sauce. Now, the meat is rest and it's time to serve this lovely beef fillet. I have some veggies here, good amount of them. Don't forget always to add some veggies to your meal. Veggies is the most important part of the meal. Now, I have my beef fillet here. Which one you like more? This one or this one? Okay. This one. Bravo. Here is my beef fillet. And I have some lovely Bearnaise sauce here. Look at this. I'm repeating once again, if your Bearnaise sauce is very thick, then add a little bit of water to make it thinner. I think this one has the best consistency ever. And this is it. I have to show you how the beef fillet looks from the inside. I have the other one here. And can you see that? So if you do the same thing, the same result will be at your plate because it's very important to be successful when you're cooking a beef fillet. You spend so much money to buy it, you have this Bearnaise sauce, you have all this loveliness, the only thing you don't have is experience. But if you follow my channel at YouTube, probably the experience will come after watching 30 videos, okay? 30. Minimum, okay? And now it's time to taste this lovely beef fillet. Look at this. You see all this juiciness? You see that? It's totally perfect. We didn't overcook it, so it's like a butter, soft like butter. And the only thing I have to do is to dip it inside this lovely Bearnaise sauce. Who can resist in this yumminess? Don't forget to follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Viber and TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, make comments under the video, and please guys, share this lovely recipe with everybody because everybody deserves a nice beef fillet with a Bearnaise sauce in under 10 minutes. Voila, bon appétit. Γεια σας.